What do you make of the whole Pickens situation here? It seems like other teams are baiting him into hurting the Steelers with silly plays.
Absolutely. There's a few things there with that. Well, first of all, it could be a ploy just to get him to stop with these antics. Right? Listen, we're not going to extend you with all of this. It's one thing to get a penalty during a play, a holding penalty or some kind of penalty. But when you have post-play penalties for foolish things, those are hard to stomach. And so, hey, let's stop with those sayings. Let's grow up. You're hurting the team. And so that could be some kind of strategy to work that. I don't know. But I think the Steelers just want to see that he's going to grow up, because a lot of times with guys that are super talented but have a tough time controlling their emotions or controlling their behavior, when you give them a lot of money, big time money, it just sets them off, and then it's tough to control those guys. And so I think that they're trying to see him really show that he's grown up. The other thing you talked about was the on-field antics. And listen, I think a lot of people will say this. I don't think I'm out of line by saying that it's got to stop. Those are hurting the team. Whether you think it was a bad call or not, whether you think that it was a point or shooting a gun, the reality is the referees are watching George Pickens. And if it looks anything like it's out of line or borderline going to be, crossing the rules, they're going to throw the flag. And it's like anything, right? When you start to become a repetitive abuser of the rule and breaker of the rule, they're going to watch you every time, and you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, man, I hear that. How common is that in football? And is it more common at different positions where guys are trying to bait you by verbally saying stuff and doing stuff? Did that happen along the
There's no question about it. Listen, there's no question about it. Teams know that George Pickens can't control his emotions. Now, the guy's a freakish talent. I mean, the guy might be the most talented receiver in the NFL. Let's be honest. The guy is absolutely talented. It is undebatable how good he is. The reality is he struggles to control his emotions, and he's got to get control of that. And players know, listen, if you rib him, if you talk trash to him, if you bait him, he's going to respond. And it's the old adage. You know this. The old adage is it's not the first guy, it's the second guy that gets the penalty, right? And so they know they can goad him into something. He's gonna respond, and he can't fall into that. He can't become that guy. Coach Tomlin always says, "Don't be the guy." He is the guy right now when it comes to being baited and getting personal foul penalties, unsportsmanlike penalties.
So who talks to him? Do the captains talk to him? If you were in the locker room, in your position, would you have had a word with him? Like, who does that?
It's different players. I think with in this locker room, I bet you it's Russ Wilson, right? It seems like Broderick Jones has got his ear. Now, Broderick Jones is I think he's matured a lot this season. You watch his growth, and I think Coach Tomlin, again, showing his great coaching ability to say, hey, I see this guy where he can go. And he's getting a lot of flack early in the season, but he's grown a lot. So you saw in the game, Broderick Jones bombed both unsportsmanlike penalties, getting in his ear, talking to him. But to me, it's a guy like Russ Wilson, who's a leader. You see that George Pickens really respects him. Coach Tomlin, he has a great way to relate to players. You see that in the Hard Knocks, right? And I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
You see how he's able to pull guys in, put his arm around them. These guys love him. He's just real with people. He just is genuine, good and bad. He'll say things to people that you might not like, but at least you know where you stand with Coach Tomlin, and these guys respect him, and he has a good way of being able to communicate that. So I would say Coach Tomlin and Russ Wilson.